let's get into today's topic. We're going to be talking about the 2 missing links that are missing from your content marketing, from your content strategy, from your content creation approach. And I want us to talk about what those 2 missing links are. And really, this is going to give you more insight is to understanding why your content is not doing an effective job attracting and converting qualified leads. So this is my first time, y'all. I'm double streaming. I'm on Instagram Live right now. And if you don't follow me over here on Instagram, I'm at Jerisha Hawk. But I'm also dual live streaming this episode over on my YouTube channel. Reason being is I know a lot of y'all watching this on Instagram right now. Y'all know I have not been saving my Instagram lives, and partly due just to all the algorithm changes on Instagram. So if you're interested in watching the replay of today's episode, just know I got you covered. I'm going to be dual live streaming this over on my YouTube channel, and I'll make sure to share the link to my YouTube channel on my Instagram stories in case you want to catch the replay, share the replay with a friend, whatever you might need to do, okay? So a lot of you guys have asked me to figure out what we can do around that. So we're going to test this out over here on YouTube, okay? Okay, so let's get into today's topic. If you guys are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jerisha Hawk. I'm a business coach. I specialize in high-ticket sales, and I specifically help industry experts chart new career paths and become profitable online coaches. And one of the primary ways that we talk about attracting leads, converting clients, enrolling people into your paid program is through organic marketing. But I want to get in y'all next today about content, because there is, especially with all the algorithm changes that have been taking place on Instagram, I think this is like the wake-up call, the awakening. This is what we need to do to get our ish together if we still want to be leveraging Instagram in a way that allows us to be competitive, that allows us to differentiate ourselves on this platform. I think most importantly, allows us to still be able to take advantage of having such wide access to everybody who is on Instagram, okay? So if you guys are new here, in the comments, if you hear me say something that really resonates, drop it in the comments. If you hear me drop a gem, just type it in the comments. Help your neighbor out, because you don't know what your neighbor might be doing, but they might not have picked up what I put down, so help them out. And if you are on Instagram, we got our little virtual offering plates. You can always purchase a badge. Y'all, badges don't pay my payroll, but it shows love. It's a way to show love, but I'm creating that you feel there's value that is being given. So if you want to contribute and buy a badge, feel free to do so. And as always, if we have time at the end to do Q&A, I will absolutely do that. So if you have a question as we're moving through this, please type it in the comments and we'll get to Q&A at the very end. So first thing I want to talk about when it comes to content creation, one thing I think we have to understand is recognizing our identity when it comes to content creation. You're probably going to fall into one of 2 buckets. You are probably either a content creator that just so happens to have a coaching program or a digital course, or you might be a coach and you just so happen to need to be able to create content in order to attract, nurture, and qualify leads for your program. Understanding that distinction in and of itself is one of the missing links that I think many of us don't really recognize when it comes to how we are approaching content creation, how we are thinking about ourselves when it comes to creating content, and how our identity and our perception of our identity plays into the type of content we create, the consistency that we deliver, the integrity that gets infused into what we publish on social media. So you're either a content creator who happens to have a program to serve the audience at which you have built. I'm going to break this down, okay? Because I think content creators are individuals who show up. Their primary purpose is creating content that attracts a large audience. And that attraction of the audience, they end up creating an offer based off of the need of the audience that they have attracted to them, based off of how they created content. So when I think about that, I think about YouTubers. I have a really good friend, Vanessa Lau. If you don't follow her on YouTube, I don't know what YouTube rock you're living under, because she has one of the largest YouTube accounts. She produces such good content. But she started as a YouTube creator, and she still is a YouTube creator. She has close to 700,000 followers on YouTube. She started creating YouTube videos as a content creator, built a large audience. One of her videos went viral, and then she created a program that addressed the need of a viral video that she created to serve the need of the audience that she attracted to her. That's just one example. If I look at myself on the other end, I am not a content creator. I am a coach that utilizes content creation and publishing content as a way for me to attract qualified leads to me, to nurture my audience, to turn my audience members into converted clients and get them into my paid community. There's a distinction between those two approaches first and foremost, okay? If you are a content creator, usually you're creating offers that fit the need for what the audience has that you attracted to you. If you are a coach who is using content, I already knew what my problem was going to be that I needed to solve. But I had to figure out a way, how do I attract people to me? So how am I attracting my leads to me is the issue that I have as a coach. If you're a content creator, you're probably trying to figure out what is the offer that you can sell to monetize your audience. That reciprocal relationship plays a huge role into how you create content as a creator. So if you are trying to figure out what is the offer that you need to create to serve the audience that you've attracted to you versus I need to attract an audience to me for a sophisticated problem I already know how to solve. Understanding that correlation to how you're creating content plays into everything else I'm going to be talking about today. So most people who are probably watching this, you don't have a large audience, but you have a skill set. You have an existing area of expertise. You know how to solve a sophisticated problem. And now you need to make other people aware of what it is that you do to pull the right people in for the offer that you already know that you want to sell. Okay. If you're in this bucket, this episode is for you. Because when you are trying to create content to pull the right people in, to qualify people who are trying to come in for an offer that you already know you want to sell, that's already rooted in your expertise, you're not creating offers purely just based off of what your audience is requesting of you per se. These are the two links that I want you guys to write down. And these are the two missing links that I think is really preventing us from being able to have a higher level of conversion rate from the content that we're publishing on this platform. But understanding your identity as a creator is really, really crucial. That first and foremost is really important. So outside of content, I'll break down all three of these steps, okay? Y'all ready to start taking some notes? The first thing that most of us are aware of is content, that we know that we need to be showing up, publishing content, sharing our perspective, which is a non-negotiable if you want to use social media to grow your business. Non-negotiable. I think we all have that shared understanding. We all know that we got to create content. Now, when it comes to creating content, this is something that I do want you to write down. If you are unwilling to show your face and or share your perspective, get out of the game. Just quit right now. I'm going to just save you headache and heart attacks. I'm going to save you stress and heart palpitations because of the stress of this world. If you are unwilling to show your face and or if you are unwilling to share your perspective, get out of the game. If you're not showing your face, you got to have a damn good perspective. If you got a decent perspective, you need to be showing your face. Like that is just a non-negotiable in 2022 and moving forward if you're using social media in order to attract leads to your clients. I know I might lose some followers on that. I'm just trying to give y'all pure facts. If you are unwilling to show your face and or unwilling to share your perspective, I do not know how you're going to be able to attract and convert qualified leads for your offers in 2022 using social media. You have to either be willing to show your face and or share your perspective. Those are the non-negotiables if you want to build a business using free social media platforms in 2022 moving forward. So when I say share your perspective, this is what we're going to get into in a little bit here. But when I say show your face, I want to make sure that we all have this shared understanding because video-based content, every social media platform now is prioritizing video-based content over every other medium. Instagram, they over here trying to rip off TikTok at this point. Short form video, showing your face, video-based content is the name of the game. But I want to give context for anybody who is apprehensive or who has not yet created video-based content in their marketing strategy. I want you guys to write this down. Video is a way to be identified. It's a way for us online to be identified as a real person. There are so many fake accounts, fraudulent people out here trying to scam you and all this stuff. Part of the way, if you're selling on social, if you're selling online, you're selling virtually, how can you be identified as a real person? Using video in your marketing allows yourself to be identified as a real person, as a real business, as somebody that is living, breathing in the flesh. So that is one thing. The second thing is that it provides a verification layer. This is something that I think differentiates us immediately. If you are using video in your marketing content, it is a form of verification and it provokes engagement. So those are three critical reasons. If you have not yet been using video in your marketing content, the fact that it allows you to be identified as a real person. Secondly, it provides a layer of verification. And third, it provokes engagement. If those 3 reasons are not reason enough to start using video in your marketing content, I don't know what will. I want to lay those things out really quickly here. The thing I want to also say about when it comes to video, and when I talk about providing a layer of verification, if you are a coach, a course creator, somebody selling intellectual property, meaning that you're not selling a physical product. If you're not shipping a physical product to somebody, you have to think about what is the way in which that I am conveying and articulating my value. Part of that verification layer is when somebody fumbles across your Instagram account, fumbles across you on YouTube, fumbles across you on a podcast, all that they can go off of, the first thing somebody is thinking is this person legit? And legit in a couple of senses. Legit, and is this actually a real person? And the second layer of being legit is, do they know what the they're talking about? Like, does this person have a level of authority? Are they actually speaking about something from a perspective that will help me solve my problem? Like, do they know what they're talking about? And the fastest way for us as business owners to give somebody that sense of, yes, let me verify this person is real and they know their stuff, is by our voice. It's using our words. And using our words in video allows us to accelerate the ability to establish that trust and to create that credibility with a stranger online. So I didn't want to skip over step 1, because content, if we don't understand those fundamental things and why we need to be using video in our content today, everything else I say after this is going to be mute. Video is a way that provides a layer of verification for strangers, for people who don't know us. And when you're selling intellectual property, we do not have the benefit of somebody being able to see our product, feel our product, touch our product, handle our product. Look, we don't have the benefit of using a physical product to convey that value. Our voice is the thing that contributes to conveying that value. That's the first thing. So I'm going to go to step number 2. This is one of the missing links. One of the missing links is too many people are focused on creating content without context. Please write that down. Context. 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 Okay, I ain't no rapper, but I can spit like 2 bars. Context is so important. Sometimes if you are just out here publishing content, wondering why it is not leading to engagement, wondering why it is not leading to people sliding in your DMs, wondering why it is not leading to conversions, is because you're probably missing context around whatever it is that you are publishing, around whatever it is that you're talking about. Our objective and our job as business owners is to make content for the human consuming it, not the human posting it. Sometimes we think, oh, this is my social media account. I want to talk about what I want to talk about when I want to talk about it. I want to post pictures of me playing with my dog on the beach, even though they ain't got nothing to do with what my business is. I want to post pictures of hairstyles and makeup tutorials, even though that ain't got nothing related to what I sell in my business or what I do for my clients or what problem I solve. You coming on social media, if you decide to use your Instagram account, to use your social media channels as a way to attract and convert qualified leads, that digital platform is no longer your personal asset. It's not your personal photo album. This ain't MySpace back in the early 2000s and the 90s. Like, this ain't that. This ain't where you talk about your boyfriend. This ain't where you air your dirty laundry about what your cousins then took from you and didn't pay you back. This ain't the place. If you're only creating content for the human posting it, you are missing the entire purpose and the point. Your content should be created for the person who is consuming it. And the person who is consuming it ideally should be for the ideal qualified prospects that you want to be attracting and enrolling in your program. That's just all I got to say. Like, this ain't mine no more. If you want that, text your friends. You ain't got to put that all over your stories. And the reason why I say this, I'm not saying that you need to dehumanize yourself on social media where you never share anything about your personal life. I'm not saying that. But some of y'all, literally somebody sent me a DM saying, hey, Jay, can you help me? I'm trying to figure out how I can convert more clients on using my Instagram and figuring out with my content. When I went to their profile, they had no profile picture. They had posted 3 photos of like the most random objects. They had no description in their bio. There was no link in their bio. There was nothing. I'm like, what you mean you wondering why you not converting clients from your content? 1, you ain't got no content. 2, there's no context. And 3, you ain't posted. So like, of course you're not converting. And I always say, don't be mad by the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. A lot of the time, the strategy that we need is just do the basics. But too many people are out here trying to skip the fundamentals, trying to be fancy out here and end up not doing nothing. So I'm not saying that you need to dehumanize yourself on social media. Still show up, talk about whatever in your personal life you want to talk about. But the most important thing to think about is if I were to go to your newsfeed right now, can I look at your Instagram handle, your bio, and the first 9 posts on your newsfeed and know exactly who you help, what problem you solve, and how to get in contact with you? If I can't answer yes, we are missing context that is crucial if you want to use your content to convert clients. So context is really important. I went to Webster's dictionary, okay, y'all? I got my little notes out here. I want to give us the definition of context. Context is the circumstances that form the setting in which it can be fully understood and assessed. So if you are trying to build awareness, nurture leads, get your prospects to raise their hand and actually enroll, every time you publish content, it's not just about the act of publishing. It is about what is being communicated in the perspective that is being dialogued when you hit publish. So this is the difference between your marketing strategy and the messaging that you communicate within your marketing content. So context to me is really about the messaging. It's the positioning. It's what are the analogies I'm using? What's the storytelling that I'm conveying? What is the metaphors that I'm really using to help make this point hit home? When I think about context, I'm thinking about what is the stage of awareness that this piece of content is designed to address. Am I publishing content to gain reach? Is this post meant to nurture my audience and build trust? Is this post meant to get somebody to raise their hand and want to convert? Every piece of content has its own mission. One piece of content has one objective. And without proper context of why you're posting what you're posting, in addition to what action and or deeper level of connection you want to have built from that content being posted, we have missed the mark. So that is one of the biggest missing links when it comes to your content marketing, is that you are forgetting context. The purpose of this being published, the context of the messaging that is being communicated within this post, like what is the objective here, and making sure that whatever you're posting is relevant and resourceful to address objections and to reduce perceived risk. The whole job of your marketing content when you're a coach that is creating content with the goal of attracting leads is 2 things: address objections, reduce perceived risk, help somebody make a decision. I guess 3. That is the only goal of your content. You are not publishing content to become famous. You are not publishing content to have the most followers out of your friend group. You are not publishing content with the goal of going viral. We do not care if you go viral on Instagram. Why? Because the amount of money you're going to make from a viral reel is a couple $100. You trying to sell premium priced programs. One client converting can be thousands of dollars for you privately. I do not care if your post got 6 likes. If those 6 likes turned into a $6,000 client, we don't care about vanity metrics. So if you are a coach using content to attract and convert qualified leads, our content's job is how we can measure the success of our content is based off of 3 things. Am I reducing perceived risk? Am I addressing objections? Am I helping somebody make a buying decision? That's it. Because we care more about what is privately taking place more than we care about the public engagement that we are getting, because we're playing a different game. We're not trying to be influencers who need to have a highly engaged audience to get brand partnerships. That's not what we in the game for. We in a game of attracting qualified leads, solving a sophisticated problem so we can enroll clients into a premium price program. So somebody asked, what does it mean to reduce perceived risk? When I think about perceived risk, anytime somebody is making a buying decision, there is a buying decision criteria that they are thinking through that is influencing how they make that decision. Any question that somebody has, any layer of risk, challenge, uncertainty, confusion, all of those things are preventing this person from being able to actually make a decision. And again, when you're selling intellectual property, it's like, why should you hire me? I need to address all those layers of risk that you have that are preventing you from even being able to make a decision. Do you understand what your problem actually is? Are you aware of what your solution to that problem is? Now that you're aware of what the solution to that problem is, do you consider me as a viable option? And when you consider me as a viable option, then what are all your objections that you got around that? Do I want to be led by a Black woman? That's a good question. Do I want to be in a diverse community, environment where, if I'm a white woman, I might be one of the few in the community group? That's a good question. Do I align with this person's values? Do I align with this person's philosophy on how they actually want to solve the problem? Do I align with the philosophy? Do I want to use the vehicle that they teach to solve my problem? Can I afford the program? Do I want to pay as much as they charge? And like all of these things are perceived risk. And what I mean by risk is just anything that might cause resistance, delay, cause confusion, that somebody has to make a decision around in order to be in a position to make a buying decision. This is all stuff that people think about. It's all the things that people privately think about, but are not maybe publicly sharing when it comes to making a buying decision. First thing we talked about content. And thank y'all for grabbing badges. It means the world to me. It lets me know that this content today, what I'm talking about, is resonating. It's adding value in your life. So thank you for adding value and grabbing badges in my world. It means the world to me. It really, really does. But so we talked about content and the importance of content. We talked about context. That's usually one of the missing links for most people is context. When I'm publishing something, why am I publishing it? What are the circumstances around the setting that I'm trying to create right now, the outcome that I'm trying to produce, so that whoever is consuming it has a full understanding and is able to assess. Really, really important. You want to make content for the human consuming it, not the human posting it. That is our primary objective. And that's difficult because social media is like the land of the ego. Social media is like highlight reel, why my life is better than everybody else's. Let me put on the facade, the fake and the phony, make it look like my life is just doing great. If you are a coach using social media to attract and convert qualified leads, it's not about you. It's about how your perspective can be of benefit to somebody else who needs a solution to the problem that you know how to solve. That is it. Y'all ready to get into number 3? We talked about content. We talked about context. The second missing link is conversation. I want you to ask yourself and start tracking. In the last week, how many new conversations did I start with my audience? Really think about that. How many new conversations did I start? And you can classify a conversation 1 point if that conversation happened publicly in a comment, and I'll give yourself double points if that conversation happened via direct message. Give yourself triple points if that conversation took place on a sales call or a Zoom call. Conversation is crucial if we are trying to use our content to attract and convert qualified leads. Conversions happen through conversation. When you are solving more sophisticated problems at a more premium price point, conversations is like one of the most important metrics that we want to be measuring. How many new conversations are you starting? How many conversations are being had? Like if in your bio, it says, don't DM me, we got to work on that. My question is why? We want our people to converse with us. We want our prospects to ask us questions. We want our prospects to reach out and raise their hand saying, hey, Jerisha, I'm interested in applying for leverage. Hey, Jerisha, when does enrollment open again? Hey, Jerisha, I submitted my application at 3:00 last night. Did you get a chance to see it yet? Like we want our prospects to start conversations with us. We want that to happen. That is like literally owning a brick and mortar business and being like, I can't stand when McDonald's does this when I'm trying to get my French fries in a medium high C with no ice. They will lock the doors on the building and say, you got to come through the drive-thru. I mean, all right, big dog. I mean, fine, I'll go through the drive-thru, but like, what if I want to come inside? But we be doing that online, being like, you can't come up in my business, but just go to my website and buy a $4,000 program off of some sales page that I put up for you. Like, wait a minute. Hold on, Playboy. I want to look around a little bit. I want to talk to somebody real quick. Like, wait a minute. How do I know? I just want to make sure I'm getting what I'm supposed to have gave. Like, wait a minute. Conversions happen through conversation. If you are selling a premium price, like if you're charging more than $3,000 for your offer, there needs to be a way for your prospects to have a conversation with you. And there's layers of conversation. Like part of the reason why I'm advocate of doing live video is because we are having a conversation right now. Everybody who is responding in the comments, everybody who is throwing hearts up on the screen, we are in conversation. It's just a different way of dialogue. You can hear my voice. You can see my body language. You can hear my tonality. There's an emotional experience that you are having right now listening to me. At some point, you have probably said, girl, like I bet you have said something vocally by yourself wherever you are at right now listening to this episode. Is that the truth or is that the truth? You probably have vocalized something wherever you are by yourself, in your car, in your bed, on your couch, next to your partner. And they're like, what you talking about? Jerisha is on right now. We are having a conversation. So one layer of conversations being started is by doing video content, because we're able to have a conversation whenever you choose to listen to this episode, because you can hear my voice, you can see my face, you can hear my perspective, and you can respond. The dialogue may be in your head, but we are having a conversation. The second form of conversation is in comments. This is why I'm, even to this day, I run a multi-7-figure business, y'all. I get probably somewhere between 20 and 80 DMs every single day. Easily between DMs and comments every single day. Guess what? We still respond to every last one of them. Every last one of them. If you comment on one of my posts, guess what? I'm responding to you. The response might just be a heart. The response might be some emojis. The response might be a text-based response, depending on whatever you said. I respond to every direct message in my inbox. The reason being is because I want to use social media to get clients. How can I also not be willing to use social media to talk to my potential clients? Hear what I just said. If I want to use social media to get clients, how can I have an expectation that I am unwilling to use social media to talk to my prospective clients? If you want people to come to your social media page, buy your programs, consume your content, but you won't acknowledge them, you won't respond to them, you won't answer their question if they got one, that's like somebody walking up in your house and you just acting like they're not there. It's like, no, like you need to address people. This goes back to just having humanity, treating individuals, like every single person who is listening to this episode right now, you are a real human. You are a real human. If you walk up in my space and I don't even acknowledge your presence, you need to acknowledge people and just honor their presence. So like, I just think that that is really important, that being willing to have a conversation is one of the biggest missing links, because too many people are creating content, publishing content, but they're unwilling to initiate engagement. That is like the default nature of how these platforms were designed. Like social media, it is called social first and foremost. It's not just a media platform. So there has to be social interactions, social engagement, social conversation. So we have to be willing to engage in that. And if you are the leader of your company, if you are a business owner, you are taking the role and assuming the responsibility that you're going to be willing to start the conversation. Be willing to start the conversation, meaning be willing to share your perspective, be willing to show your face, be willing to do the live video and start the conversation. I started today's conversation. I didn't wait for you to reach out to me. I started today's conversation by going live, by recording this episode. I started the conversation. And now as y'all react and respond to this conversation, now we are in a dialogue, and that conversations lead to conversions. So whether I'm trying to convert you into my program or whether I'm trying to just convert you into helping you make whatever the best next step decision is for you, like this is where it all starts. So those are the two biggest missing links when it comes to people's content marketing, is context and conversation. That's it. Sometimes I create my own content, because I need the reminders that I'm reminding you of, especially as you continue to grow in your business. Your operational complexity can grow as well. And it can be difficult to know where you should prioritize your time, where you should prioritize your efforts, like what is really important. The thing that to me is most important, I was literally talking to my team to this, is like number one priority is paying attention and addressing the needs of our paid clients. The second biggest priority we have is addressing the needs and responding to prospective clients. Those two things trump everything else. And the reason I say that is because like, you're in a business to solve people's problems. My business would not exist if you did not have a problem that needed to be solved. So at the end of the day, I can complain all I want. Like, oh my gosh, I got too many DMs. Girl, remember when you used to pray for that? Oh my gosh, I have too many people applying for my program. I can't get through it all. Remember when you used to pray for that? Oh my gosh, we got too many clients to manage. Remember when you used to pray for that? I always say you have to be willing to handle the problems that come with your prayers being answered. You've got to be ready to handle the problems because your prayers were answered. So like I used to pray for 70 people on a live stream when I went live. I used to pray that like people would send me DMs. So now it's my responsibility. I have to bear that responsibility. I can't be like, I'm a millionaire. I ain't got to respond to your little comment. Like I can't get brand new on y'all. Because if it weren't for y'all, I wouldn't be here. My life would not be brand new. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for picking today's topic. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, y'all. If you liked the video you just watched,
click this one. You might like it even more. Go ahead, check it out.